Thank you, Marta. Well, good morning, everyone. After the fantastic dinner that we had yesterday, I hope you're ready for some AI tsunami, the title that I've chosen for this presentation. So, well, thank you for the management team of ebankIT to invite me to be here and share my thoughts on this. And I'm going to present something that well, at least my perspective of how AI is impacting your business. I hope you recognize some of these issues, and I'll make you think about it. Well, let's start by this. If you're going to talk about the future, I like to always look at history, okay? So let me get you back in time, about 50 years ago, and let me just focus on this scene, okay? Imagine this. Imagine this is eventually a desk at home where we had a typewriter, a camera, some books, eventually an encyclopedia. That was the way we accessed information at the time. And I'd like to specifically focus on the camera. Imagine photography 50 years ago. Something that was really not for everybody. There was no Instagram or TikTok or iPhones for us to take photos. And it was really like a art, okay? A science. People would like to have cameras, different objectives, and the film that we're using. And it was a lot of complexity. And if we take a photo now, it would take some time to get that photo revealed and see if it was okay or not. But curiously, even though it was just for a few, not massive, it was a multi-million-dollar business, okay? It was really huge. And at the time, this multi-million-dollar business found this guy. Do you know who this guy is? Anyone? Well, this was 50 years ago. Now he looks like this. Eventually. No? Not even though? So, this guy was Steven Sasson, the guy that invented this, the first digital camera. And it looks like somehow what he had at the time. A tape, objective, some circuits. It just assembled it together. It was a youngster from just out of college. He worked for a couple of years, then he entered the company. And he knew about technology. He knew about innovation. And then he just made a prototype of what he thought it could be challenging for the business. And of course, that at the time, if you have a prototype, if you're working in the company, if you found something new, what do you do with it? You go to your boss. You go to your boss and just present it, okay? So he did it. He went to Walter Fallon, who was the CEO of Kodak for that time, and he said, well, I have here a prototype that will change our business. And this is prototype, so we just have to mass market it and put it in a different type of shell and whatever we have to do it, but it will change our business. And a couple of years ago, we just mentioned this on an interview, and he said, do you know what Walter Fallon said? He said this, that's cute, but don't tell anyone about it, okay? And that's the issue, because he had a huge multi-million-dollar business, 15,000 stores across the world, world leader at the time, and he had an issue, okay? He had all this ecosystem behind him. What he didn't know, when we were talking about tsunamis, that there was a tsunami at the time, the digital tsunami, that would shatter all the fundamentals of the business, and a couple of decades afterwards, this happened. Sad story. But what about this guy? Do you know this guy? It's a little bit harder, okay? Because this guy is John Antioco. He was the CEO of this company. Okay, so now you just saw it, right? And this guy had 9,000 stores, world leader at this business. He had the opportunity in 2000, to buy Netflix for $50 million. I don't know if you know that. $50 million. And in 2007, Netflix just launched the streaming solution, okay? The streaming of Netflix. 2007. 2010, this happened. So the tsunami is getting faster and faster, right? This is two examples, or these are two examples, of what we call digital Darwinism. Okay? When the tsunami of digital just hit, and people, technology, the mass market just moves faster than companies are doing. So there's an inertia on the companies. And this was 20, 30 years ago. So where are we today? Is there another tsunami coming in? Well, I believe so. I believe so. I've been working in AI for the last 8 years, and I really love this diagram. These are the technology innovations along time. So we started in 70, 80 with the steam engine. And what we can see on this diagram is that the tsunamis are happening faster and faster. So our ancestors had a century to adapt to a new technology innovation. We're now dealing with 4, 5, 6 years to adapt to this innovation. That's the first conclusion. Second conclusion is the economic impact that we have in each tsunami is getting bigger and bigger. So we have less time to adapt, and the impact is going to be bigger and bigger. And that's the point that we have here. We're dealing with an accelerated pace of change. It's very difficult for us that we've been working and been trained for a couple of structural issues on our business that now, all of a sudden, everything changes, right? So the issue here is, and I think Charles Darwin, 200 years ago, couldn't find it coming this way. The new tsunami is creating a new species, Homo ignorantis digitalis, okay? The manager is not able to face this new reality or understand the impact of AI in their business. And this is creating huge, huge, huge challenges for all of us, okay? Because there's an AI revolution happening. It's not new. Now it's fashion for everyone, okay? AI is everywhere. But this is not new. This is 70 years now. So it's a silent revolution that's been coming into our business and businesses, and sometimes we don't really know how is it going to be. Is it good or bad for us as professionals, as companies, as countries, or for the world? And I understand those kind of questions that you may be having, okay? Let me show you why. You can use AI for whatever you want. You can use AI for bad. So let me introduce you to this. MAGA, during the presidential campaign of Donald Trump, realized that they didn't have many photos, or no photos at all, of Trump with the African community, okay? Afro-American community. So what did they do? They just created it. So social media was blasted with a lot of photos of Donald Trump with the African community. And this is some examples of when you go to the Instagram feed, you don't even notice that it's fake. Or, well, this is manipulation, of course, but there is another manipulation happening as we speak, and this is already documented. The Operation Undercut is a social design agency specialized on AI for social media that produces millions and millions of content. In this case, just to influence you on the perspective of the Western support for Ukraine, negatively, of course, saying that Europe should be worrying about other issues that we have in Europe, and that there's a lot of things happening that we shouldn't care about, and Ukraine shouldn't be our perspective, our priority, okay? So at the end of the day, AI can be used for bad. So it also can be used for good. So we go for this, where I think it was Chicago University with Harvard University and another research field that just found out, processing 5 million medical records, that you can identify a profile of having Alzheimer's with 7 years in advance. The pharma industry is going crazy with this. This has got 1 year, I think it was 1 year ago that they found this. Do you know what's the other industry was also on fire because of this? Insurance. So the next time you're going for life insurance, probably this information will be used for accessing your profile, okay? Or like this, Be My Eyes. It's a UK-based app that describes everything that's in front of blind people so they can move around the city and being more autonomous. So it can be used for good. But doing this on this bipolarity that we have, there are also some strange things happening, okay? For instance, these guys on Panasonic, considering that they are missing some culture from their founders, just resurrected the CEO and founder of Panasonic in an AI avatar just to bring the old culture up. And they have videos of this guy talking to onboarding processes to the newcomers just to say what's the culture of Panasonic. And that's nice, right? But you can go into something a little bit more strange. March this year, the Supreme Court of Arizona approves AI avatars, or AI agents in this case, for limited legal representation in civil cases, up to $10,000. That's just beginning. It's just the beginning. So this is happening right now, okay? So at the end of the day, AI is becoming more and more important because it's creating greater pressure on productivity and talent, and that's something that I'm going to talk to you about. And this huge pace of innovation, it's hard to keep up with. Well, I have a lot of difficulty keeping up with all the news on this area and all the structural things that are happening. And of course, these two are very important. It's reshaping the labor market and it's revolutionizing every business, even if you don't notice it. Well, Kodak and Blockbuster didn't notice at the time. Eventually, you're not noticing also. But the signs are here, and I'm going to show you some of them, okay? And it's not a nice to have. At this point, it's a must-have. I go like, okay, that's it. But in your industry, 85% of managers in your sector saying that AI will be the main driver of competitive differentiation. And I also honestly believe so. But you know more. 85 say this, only 15%, I repeat, 15% have a team in place, a strategy, a budget, and deadlines on that. And that's what I call a plan. This is not a plan, this is an intention. So at the end of the day, where are you sitting? Are you on the 85% that say, well, this is very important, I'm doing nothing? Or you're in the 15% that say, well, I have a team, I have a budget, I have a deadline, and I have a strategy. Well, I'm here just, as Ron was saying, just to provoke you, okay? Because the AI era is here, it's true, and let me just show you some quotes, because the signs are here. Probably you're not able to look at it, or you're not worried about it, or you don't have time to look at them. Let me start by this. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Alphabet, is saying this: artificial intelligence will have a deeper impact on humanity than fire, electricity, and the internet. Curiously, that's what we have on the history books, that things that changed humanity. So we're lucky ones because we're witnessing firsthand everything that's happening on this. Or last month, Thurder Anderson saying, I think we're witnessing the collapse of a 100-year-old knowledge work model. And we can see some of these things happening when I show you those examples before. Or if you want another one, this guy is really leading the AI revolution, is saying the first AI agents will join the workforce, transforming productivity and shaping industries. I wonder if you understand the impact of this quote, because it's huge at this moment. And this month, a couple of days ago, this guy, which is really a visionary on this subject, is saying, Bill Gates predicts 2 days work week in the next 10 years. And this is not the subject of the 2 days work week, is the impact on this, on all the working model that we have at this point. And it brings us to what's the economic value of your activity, of your function in your company. And that's something that people are not questioning, but this is the consequence of this affirmation. So what I'm saying is that we are entering the AI agent economy. For the last couple of years, we've been dealing with great tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and a lot of other tools that now make up our day. But now we're going to agents. And this agent economy is creating the new AI gold rush, if you can say so. And if you look at the markets, it's fantastic. But I'd like to look at a diagram from Accenture that correlates two things: the current level of disruption in the industry and the probability of being disrupted. Do you know where we're standing? Here. The banking industry is the sweet spot for everybody using AI at this moment. Why? Because it's regulated, it's not really profoundly disrupted, and the other guys already are looking at it. They've been disrupted and they're looking at you. So let's focus on this, because this creates a lot of paradoxes, okay? This is the issue. A lot of paradoxes that your industry is facing or will be facing in the next couple of years. So let me share with you the 5 paradoxes of this new AI revolution. So the first one is the power of trust. Banking industry is trust is a trust sector, okay? I have to trust you to deal with you. If you're B2B, even more important. So the issue here is, the paradox is this. Where do I go for? A traditional bank that I know, that is trustworthy, that supports me, that knows me, even though it doesn't do much with that information. And let's not forget, the AI is about information. Or on the other side, disruption. A new player, more dynamic, with an innovative, personalized value proposition, a fantastic user experience. My bank account manager still doesn't understand why I use Revolut every time I travel, because he doesn't understand the difference between these two. So curiously, 73% of consumers prefer the traditional way. Curiously, okay? So it's a trust business, right? Trust can't be programmed. It must be earned. And that's something that works for the traditional part of banking. Let me go for the second one, the high-speed evolution. And here the paradox is more related to tech people. And there's a lot of tech people around this place. What should I do? Should I develop proprietary technology which can create differentiation, but it's expensive, slow, and requires scarce talent? Where is your AI team? Where are they being on board? What do you do with them? Versus buy. Use third-party solution that accelerates time to market, but may limit customization or hinder strategic control. If I know this industry, they're all in the left side. They want to build, but there is no time for you to build. So curiously, 58% of your fellow sector partners say that they prefer this one, okay? Because they don't have the internal skills to build them. So let me give you a taste for reality and explain to you what we're doing, for instance, in Atomaze, where I work right now. And let me give you 3 use cases where AI agents are changing the way people work, okay? The first one is in the banking industry. Novo Banco is one of the major banks in Portugal. They used to have a commercial help desk. Call my colleague to answer some question about the new product or new service that we have. And what happened here is that customers would go into the branch, the bank branch. They would sit in front of me. They say, well, I would like to subscribe this product. I have some doubts. I'll call the help desk. And I would wait for 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes with the client sitting there, and the guys on the other side wouldn't answer the phone. Finally, they would answer the phone, they explained to me, and that's great. And there was a lot of people in there just to answer phones to the commercial branches that they have. So we come in, we created an agentic AI that does what? A voice-based commercial help desk. You don't even notice that you're talking to a machine, and they answer based on the knowledge base that they have. They answer the questions of the branches that don't know what to do with that product, how to activate that product. Look at the impact. 26% of improvement in average handling time. And curiously, the CSAT, the customer satisfaction, increased also 15%. So if you use AI, you have benefits on this. But use other use cases, just to show you some quick showing about this. Customer service. This is Bizay, an e-commerce platform selling all over the world. And they introduced also an agentic AI agent that handles customer issues, customer operations. So they're answering right now all the incoming emails and messages of clients saying that they have to change the delivery address, or they want to change the request they've done. And it was usually done by people. Now part of it's done by a machine. So 30% of tickets fully handled by AI, okay? And there was an improvement of about 50% in handling time. So productivity, productivity, productivity. And the last one, because I don't want to be too pushy on this, this is an insurance company, okay, Advanced Care. And the same, manual processes for medical claims, okay? It would take 2 to 3 days to process these medical claims with people on the phone with customers just trying to figure it out how. Now an AI agent does that for them, and it reduced to 30 minutes. Okay? And this is really, really interesting because they lowered the cost of operations by 10-fold. So what I'm giving you here is small details, small examples of things happening, changing the way business is done. So at this moment, what I can say is that one manager with an AI agent in front of them being configured for work processes can replace entire teams. And it's not only in customer service. Every area that you have in marketing, in sales, in whatever you want, I can show you examples on that. So the issue here is not having AI is not the same as mastering an AI. And at this moment, the market will demand that from you. Darwin will explain that in a couple of months or a couple of years in your business, okay? Third, because I'm running out of time, make life easier. That's the value proposition for your customer. But at this point, what we have is banking industry is really keen on promoting sales. Okay? Focused on sales objectives, generating leads, recommending products, and optimizing customer conversation. This is what I get when I talk to people in your sector. On the other side, there's the customer. Customer wants this, an approach focused on more informed decision that reduce friction and simplify customer financial lives. And this is very interesting because there's a new competitor on the block. Well, not you, because other sectors have found it, intermediaries, guys that need you, but use you with AI tools to do what? A better customer proposition, okay? Doing what? This. While banks push products, intermediaries earn trust by making life easier. This is very interesting because this relates to the trust of the first paradox. These guys are using, intermediaries are using AI to earn the trust of your customers and add value on the value chain. Curiously, the report of McKinsey & Company, The Great Banking Transition, says that there are 5 pillars where you should be looking at, and 3 of them are talking about technology and specifically how you should be using AI to tackle these issues. I recommend to you to read this report. And fourth, the illusion impact. Well, the first one is AI promises a lot of benefit. It's true. Okay, productivity is the first one, and personalization, differentiation, compliance. But on the other side, there's little value. When you say, show me the money, this is the problem that we have. 1% of companies in your area are really tackling the opportunity, just 1%. The others are stuck in the pilot phase. I don't know where you are, but 99% are stuck in the pilot phase. So you should be aware of this. When you try to implement projects on your own, 17% of them fail, okay? Especially when it's in the scalability phase. So AI promises a lot, but only delivers if it's well-fed, well-trained, and well-guided. And this is where your experience or people with experience should be coming your way. And the last one, last but not least, the ambition gap. On this side, we have strong ambition for every of you, okay? Every company wants to be the AI-first company, be the first to launch an AI solution and appear as innovative, and eventually impress investors, okay? But on the other side, there are weak competencies. You don't have the skills that take you to the next level, or you'll be taking a lot of time to get there. So I just wrote, I say, only 28% of the banking sector leaders say that they understand the fundamentals of AI well enough to identify the opportunities. I don't know if you're the 30% or in the 70%, but this makes a difference because people need to know where's the impact. So it's not who runs the fastest. At the end of the day, is who learns the fastest in this new agentic AI economy. So the real story, if you want to conclude, the real story is this. AI is reshaping the economy faster than we expected because it's a compound effect at this moment. And the issue for all of us that makes us uncomfortable with this is that, as 500 years ago, our navigators were wandering around the world, it's uncharted territory. We have not been trained for this.